Get it.
All right, I'll start.
All right. Well, hi, everybody, and thank you so much for joining our webinar today, where we're going to be talking about our brand new tool in the Business Intelligence Suite. Let's just talk for a moment about what the Business Intelligence Suite is. There is a difference between business intelligence and what we have in Firmscape. Firmscape is a fantastic reporting program. It can tell you data like nobody's business, and it's a great research tool. But that reporting only tells you about what has happened in the past. Real intelligence tries to predict what might happen in the future. And it does that with some predictive analytics, using AI, using all different kinds of components, and of course, wonderful data. So we developed the Business Intelligence Suite to really help firms make better, more informed decisions, and also to limit risk moving forward. So at Leopard, our goal is to give those law firms the information they need and beyond what's in Firmscape to make better decisions and to limit those business risks when they make a decision one way or another about their next move. Our data uses both historical and current information that is mined constantly from firm websites. We, of course, then take that data, clean that data, interpret it, we vet it, we find extra information, and then we fold that data into reports that can be used to improve and better predict better business outcomes. Data, or the lack of data, can make or break good decisions, and they can be used to benchmark your firm against your competitors. And our analytics make it very easy to interpret. Our predictive analytics and AI can help generate probable outcomes of your decisions. And that helps you manage risk, that can help safeguard your firm. All of these things together come together in our Business Intelligence Suite. And I'm going to give you a quick overview because there are components of different reports already available that do have space in our new competitor identification tool. So the first report that we wrote was our M&A tool. This is our mergers and acquisitions tool. This was the very first report in the BI suite. Firms are looking to merge with other firms, or looking to do small acquisitions, and they really need good data to help decide if that's going to be the right move for them. So in our M&A tool, you can enter your primary firm, and then you can select a potential merger target if you know what that firm is. If you don't, we'll help you shop for firms by looking in specific locations, specific practice areas. You can filter by firm size, percentage of partners, diversity, ethnic diversity, gender diversity, and of course the minimum profit per partner that might be needed to merge with your firm or to be acquired. Once you put in that data, you will see a list of possible matches at the bottom. There could be many matches. This has 134 matches here. Once you find a firm that you would like to see what it would look like if it merged, you simply click a button and it's going to go pull up those, what we think would happen if these two companies came together, right? We're going to predict what we think the merger retention will be at the firm, which many ways sort of identifies the success of that merger, right? If many people don't stay, it's not really a successful merger. And what we do is we look at past mergers and past combinations to see how successful they have been over time. And we use that to inform what a similar kind of merger would look like today. So we're going to project what we think the attrition might be over time, how many people they might lose, and that's what gets us to that 65% projected retention success rate. We also look at other things. We look at if the two combine, what would the two companies look like together? Where would they gain attorneys? Where would they gain in the practice area field? We look at similar clients, client representation, and then of course we look at financials. If they're a small firm and their financials have not been announced anywhere, we're going to project what we think those financials might be to give you a little more heads up of the type of firm that you're looking at. Talking about risk, projected risk, we're going to look at some cultural factors that might help you decide if this is going to be a good blend or not. We're looking at gender diversity, ethnic diversity, schools, and we're also looking at a JD year breakdown. All of those might impact the success of that merger. So at the end of the day, we're trying to break down for you where we think risks and rewards might be with this potential acquisition and this potential merger. So that was the first report that we wrote. The second report that we wrote was our firm index report. So we're all aware of all of the firm ranking systems that are available, for purchase or awarded throughout the year. Different, publications and companies award these things to law firms. That is just a moment in time for that firm. We all know how quickly things can change. One day things could be hunky-dory. The next day we're in a pandemic and we're all in lockdown and the world is completely upside down. That report that came out the week before now is meaningless because things are going to change in the midst of this, crazy, tumultuous time, right? So we wanted to create a law firm ranking system, our index, that would change as the world changed and as the firms changed. So it had to be something that was not gameable and not based on survey data, but based on what's really happening at the firm. So we looked with our friends at Adam Smith Esquire and over at Above the Law to see what factors really come together to show if a firm is viable and stable and doing well, not doing well. So we looked at promotion data, how many people are promoted to partner every year. We looked at their revenue per lawyer, but scored over a 5-year period. Is it going up? Is it going down? The ROI, how successful are they in their lateral recruitment of partners and associates? We have some insider scores coming from Above the Law where attorneys have ranked how they like working at that firm. ROI on entry-level hires, also important. The average lawyer tenure at the firm, how long do they stay at the firm? The growth decline in lawyer headcount, and now we've recently added, of course, those ethnic diversity numbers, also really important about firm viability. This has turned out to be very popular. Everyone loves to go into this report so they can benchmark their firm against other firms. They can see their own weaknesses and strengths along with their competitors. And it's ended up being very popular since we put it on our marketing website. So this is now public facing. You go to our website, you go under resources, and you look at the Leopard Law Firm Index, and you will see the Leopard Top 250 firms. This is not something that comes out on a once a year list, and here it is. This could change every week. And there are lots of changes from week to week. You see firms slip in status, you see firms gain status, you see, the actual score go up and down as the firms are undergoing different changes. So it's always a good idea to come and check in on this data, because it can change. So the Leopard Top 250 is a dynamic list that is, it's there every week. You're going to see changes in this list, and it's public facing. We have seen firms give themselves a pat on the back, as well they should, for making the Leopard Top 250 on social media and Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook and all that good stuff. So we thought we would give those firms a little gift from us, and we have created a badge that says you are one of the Leopard Solutions Top 250 ranked firms. This you can put on your website. You can also use in social. If you are one of our 250 firms, contact us. We will get you your badge. Leopard will reach out as well to make sure you get your badge. If you're a Leopard client, contact your rep and they will get it to you. But this is a unique honor. And this is something that some firms in the traditional top 200 did not get. So this is something I think you all might want to put on your own firm website. The third report that we wrote is the ROI report. Now, I just mentioned that in the firm index because it does have a part in that firm index. But this ROI tool is rather different. So we have two ROI tools, really. We have one in the Firmscape report, and that's called the entrance and exit report. And you can go in and do massive research on your competing firms and your own firm to see where you might have problems. For my entry-level hires, where am I finding the most success? What school gives me the most attorneys that stay the longest at my firm? That's where you can go and really dig into that data, and you can really get some great information. We found that the most people that look at it are in the recruiting department, and they're in there doing some fact finding on their own. But there's a lot about ROI that really we think the C-suite and the partnership at the firm should really take a look at, because there is a money component to recruitment, good recruitment, bad recruitment, and it can cost the firm a lot of money. So in the BI suite, with that business intelligence in mind, we developed the ROI tool that equates poor recruiting, good recruiting to dollars and cents. And I think it's much easier to get people to pay attention when you're talking dollars and cents and loss in profits, right? So what we did is we took the ABA estimated that associates generally cost about $350,000 per hire, partners or more around $500,000. So we created an equation that says if an associate leaves within the first 12 months, that firm has lost 100% of their investment. If that associate leaves within year 2, they've lost about 60%. If they leave within year 3, they've lost 25% of their investment. So we're doing all the calculations behind the scene because we know how long that attorney has stayed at that firm. And you can go to the entrance and exit report and you can see that data for yourself. So we have done the calculations, and you can look and say, gee, in 2016, we lost $18 million. We did a little bit better in 2017. You're able to sort of flip between the entry-level hires, the lateral hires, and see where those big costs are coming from. That can get people to pay attention, right? Because once you know this is really hitting you and hitting that profit margin, then it's time to pay attention. The graph at the top is associated with the success or failure of the numbers listed below, these numbers right here. 2016, everything's on an upward trend from there. But please remember, you're not a successful associate unless you've been there for 3 years, a successful partner until you've been there for 5. So these are overly inflated because not enough time has passed for those people to leave. So these numbers will continue to change over time. So once you come and run this report and you say, oh, we're good, gosh, we're doing great in 2020 to 2019 hires. If you come back and look at it in 6 months, in a year, those numbers are going to change and you're going to see the real success score because more time has passed. You can also look in this report and benchmark yourself against your competing firms. Who does better on partner retention than you? Or are you the top in the field? Look at your associates, look at your counsels, benchmark against firms. If you don't like the firms that we preloaded for you, X them out, add in the ones that you want to get that real benchmark number. Then at the bottom of the ROI report, it's going to look at the practice areas at your firm. So at the firm you've run this report on, these are the practice areas at your firm. And you can see what practices have more challenges than others and what locations at your firm have more of a struggle keeping people in their location, trouble with that ROI. So this is a full look with that financial component, and we're laying it all out for you. So it's a pretty easy report to run. You can hand it to a partnership and say, we should look at making some changes. Then you can do further research in that entrance and exit report and come up with a plan. All of these reports are here not to give anyone a bad grade, but to say, if you have a problem, we can help diagnose it so you can fix it, because we want all of these firms to be strong and viable, and you can't fix something if you don't know it's broken. So that's why these reports are here, to help guide you through that process. The next report we wrote is our connection report, and this is a really exciting report that if I was an attorney, I would just be running down the street so happy. We talked to a couple of attorneys that are now recruiters, and they were at a top 200 law firm, and they said, man, if we'd had this report when we were still working at that law firm, we might still be there. So something to keep in mind. You can spread it to the attorneys at your firm and help them build business, because this is a great business development tool. So let's take a look. So this connection report is here to help connect attorneys at a law firm to attorneys working in a company, in an in-house company, so they can then explore business to be done together. Attorneys are terrible at being salespeople. We all know that. They don't like to do cold calling. Who does, frankly, but you got to do it. This really sort of eliminates that, because it's really going to give them nice, warm calls if they're trying to get some business out of a particular industry or a particular company. We're looking at all kinds of different factors: law school, graduation year, how long they're at the firm, their work history, where they worked before, current colleagues. We're looking at all this stuff to find connections. And they don't have to do a thing. All they have to do is enter their name. They enter their name and they enter the industry they're trying to get into, and then they click to go in to see the results. That's all the attorney has to do. All the marketing person at the firm, they can enter their firm, and then everybody at the firm will come up, and then they can select who they might want to, try to help get some business development. But for an attorney, just enter their firm in the industry that they're interested in, and then we're going to help show them what is the best path to get into the company they're trying to get into. So for this particular attorney, Anne, when you roll over the name, when you roll over this connection, you see the details behind the connection, which is very helpful, right? So here, Anne and Lisa Morgan had worked together in the corporate practice area in a law firm in DC between 2007 and 2020. She worked with this person, and she worked with them for a long time in the same practice area in the same city. That is a high connection. All you have to do is call her up and go, how you doing, Lisa? Is there anything I can do for you? That is a warm call, and that is a really good way to do business development. Then you see there's schools, past experience, connection depth. These are all the different things that we're looking at to pull all of these connections in. So we have first level connections, we have second level connections, and it is an incredibly powerful tool. But we're going to go one step further, because the next version of this is going to be firm level. You put in your firm, and it will show you how many connections you have within all the industries we have listed in the tool. You click on that, it's going to show you all the corporations that you have connections into, and who at your firm has the highest strength connections that can go after that business. This is going to be even more powerful on a much larger scale. So that's going to be coming in just a couple of months. So let's remember this tool, the connection tool. Today, you'll see some of these components put together as we are looking at our brand new tool, which is the competitor match tool. So in Firmscape, when you run a Firmscape report, you're going to see a list of competitors at the side, right? And we thought we did a great job. These firms are all your competitors. And the first thing law firm people said to us was, well, yes, they're our competitors, but I have hundreds more, because my people in Dallas have different competitors than the people in Atlanta. my people in Dallas in the corporate department have different competitors than the people in Dallas in the IP department, and then the litigation department, on and on and on and on. So we said, okay, little more difficult. Let's go back and look at what we can do to pull all of this data in together. So, who are your competitors in Atlanta? Who are your competitors in Atlanta in the corporate practice? These are the kinds of answers you can get from this tool. Just put your firm in, or if you're just looking at different firms, just poking around, you can get a list of firms with relevant stats and then go see that report. But let's just say we put in a firm, we click View Report, and then that report is going to come up for us. So here's the first window that you're going to see. This is their firm name. They're going to have their Leopard index score right here, which we talked about previously. And what I'm seeing in this is status over time ROI. We just talked about ROI and what that is. So this is their ROI from 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? We talked about why it goes up. Not enough time has passed. And I'm looking at ROI percentage here. I'm looking at practice areas, and I have selected banking. It's in blue. So my selections are practice area of banking. And here I'm going to see the practice area of banking for my firm in every single location where they have a banking practice. So it could be the banking practice area in 10 different locations, and all of that is in the report. Each section is its own section. So you can add firms, subtract firms, but each section sort of works independently from the rest. So here I'm looking at ROI percentage. I'm looking at practice areas. So just the practice area of banking, I'll get a long list of locations with the practice area of banking and the list of competitors. Now I can change my view, and instead of looking at ROI percentage, I'm looking at growth decline, which would have another element for me to think about, right? What firms are growing, what firms are not in my practice area, in my location. Well, as we can see from this graph, I've got several firms here in big growth in Atlanta in the banking practice area. If those are my competitors, I would want to know that, right? So this is what that growth decline percentage is going to tell you. Now you can get this same thing from the growth decline report by running a banking practice area in Atlanta. But here you get to do lots of other stuff with it as well. So we're looking at growth decline percentage. We're looking in practice area, and that's all we're looking at. So banking, everywhere it exists, every location, and we're comparing it against that growth decline percentage. Now I've changed it again, and I've got my firm index score. And you'll notice every time I change this here, this changes at the top, right? So now this is my firm index score. And this is my firm index score, where it's been, where it's gone over the last year. Now I'm benchmarking the firm index score against all of my competitors who have banking practice in Atlanta. Now, this is a firm-wide index score. All the other items are really going to be scored by people who are in the banking practice in Atlanta. This is a firm-wide score, but I'm still looking by practice area. But I can also look by location. So if I'm the managing partner of Atlanta, I can come in and run the Atlanta office, and I'm going to see all of my competitors in all of my practice areas in Atlanta, one by one by one by one, which is great. You're going to get a great overview of who your competitors are. The competitors are chosen by similar size. So it's not limited to top 200. It's not limited. It's chosen by the size. If you have 10 people in your banking practice in Atlanta, we're going to find similar size departments that we think are your competitors. You may disagree with that logic, and you may have something else that you want to use, and that's fine, because all you have to do is drop out the firms that you don't agree are your competitors, or you want to add more to it, that's fine. You can build your own preferred list. When you do that, this right here switches from default to preferred, and that's going to be your preferred list. At any time, you can flip that toggle and see what the default firms are. That preferred list will stay your preferred list until you change it. I would suggest creating a preferred list, but checking in on the default list periodically because things change, right? We add new firms, a new boutique springs up, and they've got a big banking department in Atlanta. You might not be aware of it right away, but we will be added to the database. So we may make you aware of competitors or people who are growing that office that you're unaware of. So check in on that default button along with making your own preferred list. And I think that will be very helpful. And I just wanted to show you the view looking at by location, by practice. So every practice will have a different set of competitors, right? Because different practice, it's going to have a different set of competitors. So it's going to be a different list from block to block to block. This can be changed from block to block to block. In some of our other reports, when you change one block, it'll change all the rest because that's what you want it to do, but not here. Here, you want a specific list per practice, per location. So you can change it block to block to block. And remember, just you've got that preferred capability as well. When you change this at the top from index score, just remember this changes as well. So you're looking at ROI here and you're looking at growth decline here. And we saw where we were looking at the index score. So we're really trying to give you a look at your competitors and your firm, letting you benchmark yourself against who we think your competitors are and who you think your competitors are. And it's also a great way just to keep on top of changes in the industry, competitors you might be unaware of, people that are making moves onto your territory. We think it's going to be a really good list. This is something that people have asked us for years, and we're finally able to do it, and it's now dropped into the BI suite. The BI suite is free right now to any customer that has a nationwide Leopard list and historical Firmscape combination. It's not going to remain free forever, however, and it will go on sale in a couple of months, I think. It's going to be a freestanding tool. It's going to be completely loaded with data. We're going to sell it in a different way, but we're also going to be able to do some sort of prorating for people that just have 6 more months on their subscription, and we'll definitely work out a deal with you. There are many more reports to come. So we have a financial benchmark tool, a diversity report, we've got all kinds of stuff planned to come into this tool. So we're going to step it in a bit easily and start with some beta pricing because there's going to be room for this tool to grow. At the end of the day, we're really looking for a great strategy board that's going to take components of all of these reports and let you play some fantastic what if games. What if I closed this office? What if I opened an office in this location? What if we acquired this firm? And what are the risks to my firm with those decisions? That's what that strategy board is going to be about. And we are so excited to bring all of this to you. And this is, the first version. Please get in there and get in that competitor match tool and see what you think, see what it's missing, see what you like, see what you hate. Communicate that to us and we will get working, fine-tuning that tool to make sure that it is something that's really beneficial to you and exactly what you're looking for. So keep that in mind and come get your Leopard Top 250 badge if you are one of those firms. And if you have questions about this tool or any others, please let us know. Bill, were there any questions that came in?
No, I think we're a little quiet today, which is fine. I'm sure we'll chat with everyone as we go through our demonstrations for our clients. A lot of the tools that we've developed have been directly based on feedback that we've gotten from our clients. I know from my perspective, what's really good about the BI suite is that I think it complements Firmscape extremely well. So Firmscape is I think really the quintessential research tool, whereas this is a visual depiction of intelligence at its best. So I think the two really go hand in hand very well. So um, yeah, so I'm very excited to see what everyone thinks, and we'll share the recording of this with those that had some questions and interest. I guess if there are any other questions, we'll take it from there.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.